Right, we're not doing 1, 2, 3 this week.
No?
No.
No, 1, 2, 3, it's we with Web3.
And that's how we start the episode. It's not the evening. You're not having a good evening. It's daytime. It's bright and it's lovely. I'm James.
I'm Chris.
And I'm Stash.
Energy. This is what you get when we're midday. Completely different vibe. It's not
We need that
grungy.
snap. The like, yes, energy.
We've
I'm
never
awake.
had a spring or summer podcast, and this is the new vibe. It's sunny outside. We're happy again. Obviously, we're still here.
James is taking a load of coke.
Oh my god! You wouldn't believe the amount of coke I've taken. Absolutely slander, Chris.
Typical finance bro.
I'm not a finance bro in any way. Well, I'm a bit. Anyway, this week we're going to talk about a few different little things. Talk about celebrities getting fined by the SEC over promoting crypto scams, etc. Jake Paul is one of those. We're going to be talking about Sui, which is a layer 1 protocol we talked about a lot, going and onto their permanent testnet. And then we're going to talk about all the fun of fake Twitter leaks about tokens being released, which everyone has seen forever and a day. Right, let's start. SEC fining celebrities.
As they should.
No, see, I think Jake Paul's innocent. I think it's hard pressed to sue the promoters of items when they don't make the product. How would you feel if your favorite celebrity who was paid to do endorsements for Coca-Cola and it turns out there was some Coca-Cola that was tainted and someone died? Should they be able to sue the celebrity, or is it the business making the product?
Both of them. You should be able to sue both of them. I think you need to do your own research, as we always say. But at the end of the day, all these celebrities get paid to do these cream commercials that they'll never ever use, and you know that because they don't even use these products. You're like, you've never heard of them, and yeah, it should be karma should come back to both the people.
So first of all, what is with the Paul brothers just getting involved in all these crypto scams? Like, seriously, what the hell?
The simple solution to that, Chris, is cryptocurrencies all run on hype, and those two young men know how to make hype like no one else.
Well, they literally, KSI literally has like a group called the Hype Men, doesn't he?
Oh, they're literally like all the YouTube guys nowadays are just the best marketers in the whole world.
Oh, absolutely.
I was listening to Eddie Hearn on a podcast, and he said that there's really no point him getting involved in YouTube boxing because what's he going to promote? He's like, these guys promote themselves. He's like, what is the job for the promoter? When Jake Paul KSI, he did that promotion for that fight, and he was like, they sold out the arena before we'd done any promotion. He's like, what was needed?
Yeah,
and like,
was it Logan Paul KSI?
Sorry, Logan Paul KSI. Surprisingly,
yeah, I get mixed up between the two of them as well.
I'm not that big into YouTube boxing.
Yeah, but I'm not that big into the Paul brothers. but I think from my hatred, I kind of know quite a lot about them. So obviously, in this situation, it's a little bit different to Logan Paul's Crypto Zoo thing, because Logan Paul was in charge of that. But at the end of the day, they're still associating their names with this brand, right? So if you saw at one point there was all that thing where loads of people were getting sued for promoting SafeMoon
and Ethereum Max.
Yeah,
Kim Kardashian promoted Ethereum Max.
Yeah, like, so that is a legitimate like suing case because this person watches this person, right? They have told them go out and buy this, they've bought it, and they've lost all their money. So by associating your name with it, you are partly responsible for whatever happens to the user, right? It's not necessarily just one person like dying from a dodgy Coke. It's a lot of people are affected by this because a lot of Cokes were dodgy.
So would you think it was fair, for example, let's say that Top Gear, they didn't use spell out it because it's BBC, so they couldn't do this, but let's say Top Gear advertised VW Golfs, right? The diesel VW Golfs. When it came out that the people at VW have been lying on the emissions rating and had a special test thing so that the emissions were actually way higher, is it fair to sue Top Gear?
Because I think this was different.
I would love to know how.
Okay. Oh, we mean because
Well, you're
they're like, yeah, sorry.
I'd love to know
Okay.
how. Okay,
Okay.
I'd love for you to know how. Yeah.
Stash is going, yep, so would I, mate. So would I.
I think I guess it's like VW is like an established business that's been going on for like a long time. They've got a reputation. They produced cars for many years, and then they created a system specifically to lie about their product line. So that's where it kind of like crosses. Like most of these cryptocurrencies don't even have a reputation or like any proper fundamentals behind them. But these 100-year-old companies, you're expecting them to get product A, but actually they've been lying to you the entire time.
So my question there is, right? Say you are advertising for VW, Top Gear, car experts, right?
Yeah.
Wouldn't have had the facilities they maybe could have done the emissions testing themselves, to be honest, but you wouldn't be expecting that company to lie about their emissions.
No, but it's actually the computer programming in the computer. So even if they did do the emissions test, they would have found out. So it was unavailable to, even if people wanted to test it, was unavailable to them to do it.
Perfect. So how is Jake Paul supposed to prove what these companies that he's promoting are doing if he doesn't have the skill set, the ability to do it? And you've already said, if in that instance, they had nothing, Top Gear couldn't have done anything about it. Not fair to sue them. So that's where I sort of land, and I go, well, hold on. Why are we holding up this celebrity to such a high standard for this promotion, when in actual fact, he could have done all his own research in the world and he would never have discovered it because he's not an expert on these deals?
But
so
that's why you get people
Here's the thing, yeah, right? So you just said it right there. He's not an expert on these things, right?
Yep.
Top Gear, experts on cars. Sure, that collaboration makes sense. This is one company who have like paid out in their own token, probably, right? Because let's face it, they're not going to be paying these celebrities out in theatre in very dodgy circumstances. It's basically as if someone has approached you and been like, look, I'll give you $100,000 worth of, I don't know, silver, go promote silver.
So my argument here, Chris, is that I think no celebrities that promote things are an expert on what they're promoting. Gal Gadot used to promote Huawei. Could she make a phone? Can she tell you what the software's in there? No, she can't. Now, when Huawei get caught up in a scandal where they're taking a load of user data, she doesn't get sued. So what I'm confused at here is the disconnect between he's getting sued for promoting a product he doesn't understand, yet all these other instances have happened, they don't get sued.
I feel like those celebrities, they've probably got a better sort of like deal, right? They've got a deal which protects them from things like that. Would you not? Do you not think? Maybe not.
No, this is my thing, is that I personally think that they're going after these celebrities because they're selling essentially an unregulated product. That's where I think the difference is that those VW cars are regulated by someone. Yeah. The telephones companies are regulated by someone. And I think the problem they've got is the promotion of unregulated industries is probably where the difference lies. I don't know if you guys would agree or disagree, in that, like Stash said, you're expecting with someone like VW that due diligence has been done by experts, and therefore Top Gear in that instance I made up, which they haven't done, but they're relying on essentially both VW's experts and the experts of the regulatory body to say, no, they've said that's all well and good, but in crypto we don't have any of that, so you can't rely on anyone else's expert and you need to do your own research. Is that where we land?
Yeah, I do agree in some point, but like the whole Logan Paul thing, the way how it all kind of began, he supposedly did hire a team behind it and all this, like supposedly did his due diligence. It's still scam. Like I just don't believe.
Also, I was talking about Jake Paul, who did some advertising for, I can't remember which cryptocurrency it was. I don't know if it was FTX, because a load of YouTubers got caught up in the FTX one, didn't they?
Yeah.
But again, it's really difficult because, say with the FTX, if you're promoting a crypto exchange, depending on what the product you think you're promoting is, because at the end of the day, FTX didn't scam you. They would exchange your crypto for funds. They were just very incredibly poorly run and therefore collapsed. It wasn't like if you put your funds in there, you wouldn't ever be able to get them out. I mean, it did end up that way, but you could have used them for years if you wanted to trade fiat to crypto and spend it and do whatever else. So
yeah,
It's hard
I
for
do
me.
agree with you there. There was, I didn't think it was a scam. Yeah, like you said, there's loads of banks that have been poorly run, and
Yeah.
people aren't calling them scams, are they? They're just a company that builds and fails. And with FTX, yeah, sure, there was shady stuff going on, and it's not.
Here's a
Unfortunately,
point.
people
Here's a
lost out.
point
Mhm.
where the Top Gear Mercedes or whatever
Yeah.
thing sort of is quite different, right? So with crypto, it's all about people gaining or losing money, right?
Yeah.
With a company like Mercedes, they had the whole scandal of their carbon emissions,
Mhm.
right? They had hidden that. But rather than people losing out because of that, they had to do a recall, right?
Yeah. Well, and then
Yeah.
they had to make payments as well.
Exactly. So no one lost money.
So that's where I have an issue, right? So if I'm really eco-conscious and I bought that VW Golf because it was eco-conscious and it was producing less emissions than all the other equivalents, I've been scammed. I haven't got the product I was promised. The fact that they've then paid me money, that might not be relevant to me, and the damages as well.
That's a very valid point. No, that is a very valid point. However, I feel like in this day and age and in this sort of atmosphere, everyone is really focused on money, and they get very passionate about losing money. I definitely agree that it should be more towards the environment, especially that we're going through a climate crisis. Like, if we don't change things, like, soon,
Things will go to run,
Yeah.
things will go to hell. But everyone is so, like, focused on themselves that they take personal offense and they get a lot more passionate about the fact that this guy sold me something and I lost money on it.
Yeah, it's bizarre to me though, because and you don't see it, and I wonder if it's because it's regulated. You don't see people, like, I've never seen an advert online for please buy Tesla shares or anything like that. Do you know what I mean? That never
It's
occurs.
always like apps that will be like, you can buy
Yeah.
like, I don't know,
Trading
fractional shares
212
of this.
or
Yeah, trading
something
2 and
like
2.
that.
But what they want is your trading fees, don't they? They don't
Yeah.
care if you make money or lose money on the app, really. So it's interesting because you never really see adverts for stocks and shares. I personally, I don't know if that's because it's regulated and they're not allowed to in the UK, or if it's just because the problem with this is as well, like, I think it depends what you advertise. If you advertise a token, I think you're much more liable than advertising, say, a platform.
Yeah,
Like, if
no,
you advertise
absolutely.
a platform
Totally
and
agree.
they can do what you say, but if you shill a token that is going to die and you know it, even if you don't know it's going to die, it's just hard, isn't it? Because my problem with it is that I don't think most celebrities are experts in anything bar what they do, which is perfectly normal. And I just wonder how much emphasis we can put on them. Or are all these fines just to say, no, don't advertise cryptocurrencies? Good or bad?
A bit of column A, bit in column B,
Yeah.
I reckon.
Yeah, we just need to find that right mixture.
There's no right or wrong answer here, I guess. Like, there's no yes or no. It doesn't go either way. It's sort of like a bit in the middle, because the SEC, we know, are kind of corrupt and they definitely hate crypto, and they're trying to do, like, you can just see from all of the steps that they take, they're against this sort of push in technology, right? So you've got to take everything the SEC does with a grain of salt. But then again, when you have influencers like Jake Paul, who have been involved in so many crypto scams and shit like that before, right? You've got to take anything he says with a grain of salt, because he has a history of being a scammer.
Yeah.
So,
yeah, and I think that's where we're going to land on it. I don't think there's a right or wrong answer. I like to chew the fat over things like that, because it strikes me in lots of situations, that the person who's promoting a product will never be able to understand the product entirely. And I think that with the regulated spaces, at least the person who's buying that product or being sold that thing has got the trust of this company is regulated by a governing body or whatever. If you engage an accountant, they've gone through a qualified accountant's gone through all their exams, they're regulated, they pay their membership dues. You're not just with anyone. You can go to someone who's not a qualified accountant, but you don't get the guarantee that the work you're getting will be to a certain standard and that. So I think potentially that's the difference between the regulated spaces, phones, cars, and the unregulated crypto.
Yeah.
Cool. Right. Do we want to do any more shouting at each other about this?
I mean, you
And
know,
then
I
we're
love
good.
shouting at you, James. You know,
I know you do. Well,
normally, like, yeah, in different
Chris,
settings,
right?
but-
Shout at me about this, right? So MetaMask, apparently rumors flooding on Twitter this week, everything trending. MetaMask doing a token, Mask, get on the airdrop now. You missed Arbitrum, you loser. Get on the airdrop. That was going absolutely wild.
I would say everyone was shouting about it.
It
Right?
literally
Oh,
was.
No one shouts at me though. I'm very unpopular online. But so what do we think about this? Do you instantly smell a rat? I put it in a group chat, and I put it in the group chat. Went, that's a scam. Before anything,
there will be a token, like they've said there will be a token, but we don't know the exact date and what are the terms of you using it. I think this could have either been like a really good ploy for them to incentivize users to use, because basically MetaMask have launched their own bridge. They have internal swaps that you can all do through MetaMask. So I don't know, because apparently the leak was from like a group chat of like important people, and obviously then MetaMask said it was fake. So in my opinion, like, anyone wants to go viral in whatever way possible to kind of, like you said, hype generates funds and money. And obviously every swap and every trade, MetaMask, if you do it within the swaps, you'd probably they get some money. And people were saying you need to swap a minimum of like was it 1,000 or 10K swaps within MetaMask to qualify, and these very specific things. And you're like, hang on a second, like maybe later on down the line,
were they specifically saying to swap to any specific token or anything like that?
No. You just have to make like large volume swaps. They can't be between wallets. They have to be like contract interactions of like large volume. So like they all sound like legitimate things. Like that was on like the Arbitrum airdrop, when like other airdrops for you to qualify. But it could have just been like a viral way just to, I don't know. No one knows.
This could just be speculation.
Yeah, the end of the day is literally speculation.
What I'm gonna say, yeah, like it could just be that maybe they did. I'm sure they've probably got a plan about.
Yeah.
Maybe they told someone in the company, they leaked it to their alpha groups or something like that. The alpha groups got wind of it and the plan, and it went viral online. And then they were like, whoa, we're not ready yet. And they just called it out as fake, right?
Yeah.
Because the rumor about MetaMask doing a MetaMask token, Mask token specifically, like I remember hearing, I think I heard about that back.
It was last year, something like that.
Back like October, November last year. Because what was the ad? I think it might have been Blur or something like that airdrop. The initial one where everyone was making money and they were like, oh yeah, MetaMask is next, Mars token. Ooh, yeah. OpenSea, C token. I mean, we've seen that.
Do you think it's just entirely off the back of the Arbitrum? Because the timing is suspicious, isn't it?
That's the thing.
Absolutely.
And
there's
if you
so
see
many
the correlation, if you see the correlation, right?
Yeah.
Blur airdrop. Ooh, there's going to be this other airdrop. Look at this.
Arbitrum. This is the piggybacking off the success. Like, one thing that I'm worried, because people think, like, a lot of people are, like, to be honest, I think people who think we're in a bull market right now are delusional, and if you need to be so careful. There's so many groups and supposedly deep alpha callers and stuff saying, yeah, the bull market, yeah, hang on a second, our macroeconomic situation is abysmal. Trillions just being printed out of thin air. The inflation is going to go up. There's going to be more banks collapsing. Like,
Bank of England put interest rates up again last week.
and literally, like, I'm clip this, but this is an entire bull trap. And like, yeah, it's been nice making some money right now, but in a real bull run, we should be seeing so many more gains in like the altcoins. Like, the altcoins are like stagnant because Bitcoin dominance is going up and it's sucking out all the liquidity of the certain alts, apart from Arbitrum, which is going up, like I told you, number 1. But yeah,
forget it. You got in on the Arbitrum airdrop.
Well, I didn't tell you guys, but no, I'm joking. But yeah, it's end of the day, you do your research, but the thing is, there's so many groups out there that they're saying they're telling you the gospel of what's happening. They have no idea. They're not fortune tellers. They're not sitting there looking into the dimensional portal like, yes, we're a bull market right now. Yeah, absolutely. Anyone that tells you we're in a bull market is delusional.
So do you just think that essentially when the Arbitrum airdrop goes up, a load of scammers come together and go, look, do you know what, lads? We're going to bot a load of these tweets. We're going to pretend there's a MetaMask thing, and we're going to see if we can trick anyone into signing
Probably.
anything up for us.
I bet you people have been scammed 100%.
And people have definitely been scammed. There's definitely been obviously scams to do with this. Probably
I
on
get tagged in
Discord,
scams on the daily, like.
Stash, that's because you're distributing them, mate. That's because you're always trying to scam. You know, you're always telling
Don't be
us.
suspicious. Don't be suspicious.
But like, so I just think it's like a way of trying to go viral, right? Because everyone, like, you see Twitter, like, did you see? I mean, this links in with what we're potentially going to talk about later about ChatGPT, right? So ChatGPT, some guy asked ChatGPT, with an initial investment of $100, make me as much money as possible, as quickly as possible. He did a thread on Twitter. The thread went viral, and basically he told ChatGPT about that, and ChatGPT started selling advertising spots.
Yeah, and he was making like thousands, and it's
he
amazing.
made something like 25, 50K or something like that.
Yeah, it's crazy. And at the end of the day, being viral is the most important thing. And like,
so if you say, oh, you heard it here first, there's going to be a MetaMask drop, which, let's face it, there probably is, right?
Yeah. At some point.
This person can then be like, told you so, you didn't listen to me. Like, and it also gives him like a sort of platform to potentially go viral with that. So I think it's not necessarily coming from a malicious point. It's coming from a point of, I got there first. Like, look at me, hello, sort of thing.
Did you see with all the all the Arbitrum like scammers were coming out massively when the airdrop dropped? They were like, oh, if you missed it, we're doing a second airdrop, blah blah blah. So everyone was reporting all like these Arbitrum second channels. And did you see the Arbitrum's official Twitter got deleted?
Yeah, it was hilarious.
He got shut down because they shut it down thinking they were also a scammer, and then Arbitrum had to get it reinstated.
Yeah, it was funny. It's pretty funny. I was like, hang on a second, why is it gone?
Yeah, no, they
just Elon for you.
Well, tell you what, did you guys see this? So, have either of you ever watched Linus Tech Tips on YouTube? Like a big tech channel.
No.
Right, so he's like,
yeah, I mean, yeah, I've heard of him.
Yeah, so he's like this
about the whole hard R thing that he did.
Oh, that was right. Well, we'll skip past that. Skip past that.
Yeah.
He thought hard R's were different than they were.
Yeah.
But anyway, so his YouTube channel got hacked, like 17 million subscribers, and they went through and they deleted all his videos, and they deleted his second channel. And what they were doing is they were doing a live stream of an AI'd Elon Musk selling cryptocurrencies, telling people go and buy the Tesla token or whatever it was. And what it was is they'd got like an interview like this with Elon Musk and like some other people talking about it. And he was talking to them about how good his Tesla token was and when it was coming out, and people could get on a pre-sale now. And that's what the scammers did. What was fascinating was, and this is the thing I thought was super interesting. So I watched his like follow-up video about his, because that went like
how
mega.
many subscribers this guy have?
17 million.
17 million, I think.
17 million. Wow.
So like 5 or 6 more than us. And yeah, so this had gone like mega. And I was like, I wonder how many people they get, because what they did is they changed his logo from like Linus Tech Tips and his name. They changed both of them to be like Tesla and Tesla. So that lots of people might have thought it was a legitimate stream because it's got 18 million subs.
Yeah.
So if you were going along it and it popped up, because it popped up for a lot of people, they might be like, well, hold on, it looks legit. Like, the channel's got loads of views, it's got an official logo. This looks like Elon Musk talking to us on a live stream.
Wait, but they deleted all his videos.
They deleted all his back catalogue or hid them all so that people couldn't see them. To go like, oh, this is a different...
only that video is on his channel.
Oh, so it's all been reinstated now, but
yeah, obviously, but like only that video was on his channel.
Yes, it was just that live stream on there. But
so unless you got a link to the actual video, if you went on his channel straight away, that's a red flag.
Yes, but if you were subscribed to him, this live stream would have popped up. All 18 million people would have popped up as Tesla is now live, and you could have clicked on it, and you could have seen Elon Musk trying to sell you something, and also targeting like tech bros who were probably a bit more suspicious, but maybe they thought, yeah, we'll give that a go. And I just thought that was fascinating that that's what happened, is that they hacked it to do that. And
did they release how many people they got? Or...
No, they never said. But the exact same hack, probably from the same group, happened to a German YouTube not that long ago, maybe 6 months ago. And the way the hack worked is there's essentially a token within your cookies or within your session data, that what it was doing was it was hacking and grabbing that off of somebody who's got access to the YouTube channel's PC. And then when Linus would try and change the password or kick them out, they could just reinstate their session. So he could take down the stream and then they could just put it back up. So he couldn't even kick them out and had to contact YouTube to shut down his channel to do it all. So it was pretty interesting. But I thought it was interesting that that's what they chose to do, is they thought, right, we'll run a crypto thing with Elon Musk.
Mad.
On Twitter, something similar happened where a load of celebrity accounts got hacked.
Yeah. That was...
oh yeah, I'm giving away like $100,000 in donuts. Yeah, if you sort of click on this link and then we'll transfer it to you. So yeah, it's scary. And obviously with AI stuff, well, who knows, maybe we could be all talking with AI right now. We might not even be.
Am I an AI? Or
Stash is an AI. No one's called Stash.
Well, no, that's the thing. That's the thing. When we get rid of Stash, just you and me and AI Stash. We'll have AI Stash.
Stash is just an acronym. It stands for, like, I don't know, storage transient augmented system. Artificial system.
Stash.
That's a good one.
That's what the AI said. We'll get him funnier in future. Don't worry. We're working on that. It's iterative. We've got him downloading Robin Williams right now.
Uh-oh.
But no, right, I think that covers off the MetaMask leaks. And then Stash a Bash a lot. You've got one more thing to talk about, which is Sui tokens.
I remember one more thing, but I'll do testnet. So finally, we are getting into the final era of the Sui testnet. So what does that mean?
Suriname.
It's the Suriname, as we call it. So I've been attending all the Miston Labs, which is the group that founded and like all the devs behind Sui Network, and basically they're doing like basically last few incentive waves where they'll be testing making users test different contracts, whatever, and tech to make the final perfect creme de la creme of the Sui network, which has like infinite possibilities. And when one of their recent vids they did is that they're going to be heavily focused on gaming. They want to onboard the next billion gamers, and they're announcing like huge gaming partnerships, because like theoretically in the white paper there is no limit to the Sui transactions and like the speed of it. So in the future, once it expands exponentially, there could be a potential why one these gaming platforms could have like a proper place where they can actually create like games.
So how would that work? Would it just be like any sort of thing that they do in the game will be verified on? I guess
you could do that theoretically.
Like for instance, obviously in 8192.
Yeah. It's everything's on chain. Yeah, you think about that. If there's a way of having infinite transactions to go, it means that the finality and flawlessness is just smooth, and everything can be put on that.
However, depending on like the frequency of transactions.
Yeah, absolutely. That as well.
I mean, sure, it's going to be cheap, very cheap to do any transactions. But obviously, if you're doing a transaction a second or something like that,
if you think about it more like in like the sense of like arbitrary, that you would like you do all the computational stuff and then send it into the main blockchain. If you think about that, I guess that's how you could theoretically do it in that kind of sense. But there is infinite possibilities with these kind of like technological.
Sui is its own chain, though, isn't it? It's not like
it's
not like an arbitrary,
and it's not going to be EVM compatible, which I think is an absolute good thing, because they want to be their own thing and not have. Obviously, you can bridge like ERC tokens to Sui, like the same you can do with Solana and stuff, but there will be no intercompatibility, which is going to make it like its own. It doesn't want to be part of Ethereum. It wants to be its own thing and create its like kind of own future, which I do like the idea of these kind of things, because everyone's like, oh, it has to be EMV compatible. But when you have EMV compatibility, you can have like miners fighting for like the miner extractable value, where they can literally pick certain transactions that will make them the most money and stuff like that. So that's the one thing I really hate about Ethereum, is there's ways that you can game the system and cause these big spikes in transactions.
Stash, I'm a simple man. What is EMV compatible?
So EMV is the Ethereum virtual machine, which is basically the playground where you build your applications and how like all the communications between apps happen. But so the way you have like layer 2s and other like EMV compatible chains, they use that kind of framework, so they're able to interact with Ethereum more seamlessly and smoothly. So that's why all the layer 2s use EMV compatibility, because as you just go back, it just works bang, bang, bang like that. Just basically, it's basically like the framework to smooth the process. Let's say it's like a manufacturing line, and it just streamlines that.
Okay, perfect. Thank you very much.
And the second thing that I did tell you guys, but I did apply for Weaving Web3 to be media partners or some kind of partners, and I've been bugging them. And unfortunately, I got declined, but because of my efforts, and they're talking about like, oh, unfortunately, you won't consider. They have given us a 25% off for the 2023 Zebu Live conference for all of our followers. So if anyone is interested, this is where our story began. This is where Weaving Web3 began its grassroots. And I will tell you, it's one of the best conferences I've been to.
Oh, it was so much fun, wasn't it?
It was amazing.
It was really good. And obviously it was the added bonus was that we all met there.
Yeah. And
we all just went by ourselves, didn't we? And
we did.
Bunch of solos. but the thing is, everyone there was so friendly. You could make friends. Like it was just a happy, nice environment, you know, and lots of really interesting people to speak to. So yeah, definitely.
Yeah, when is the Zebu Live conference?
So it's the 4th to the 5th of October, or it's the 3rd to the 4th of October.
Let's have a look.
But and like with this link, we don't gain anything out of it. I just wanted to give back to people. To even like that, honestly, like I cannot explain. I cannot explain you how much this conference has changed my life, like my career. I've made contacts. Like I have been offered jobs for once I finished my PhD because I've made contacts and they know the knowledge I have. I've been bugging people, being like, I've been putting people that I've met at like Zebu Live without a different conference, and they're making like deals between each other, and it's like, this is what. Yeah.
Am I right in saying that when we first went to Zebu Live, none of us really knew what to expect? None of us really had very much confidence in our own knowledge of like crypto and like stuff like that. And
then it turned out that we're actually geniuses. Right?
You speak for yourself, Stash. I literally said minutes ago, I'm a very simple man.
Literally. But no, like it sort of validates you a little bit, right?
Absolutely.
Into these people who were big in the space and who have actually achieved something, and they want to hear your opinion. They want to like talk to you about your experience with crypto and stuff like that. And it really like it's really beneficial to like you seeing like what's going on and like how you can be involved in this.
Conferences were also great for like testing your mettle. So like discuss something that you think with someone else, because like I know for all three of us, we didn't ever have anyone to discuss things with.
Yeah.
Like we've had our controversial talk at the beginning or whatever, but I look at it and go, well, actually, I might think this, you might think that. Well, at least we can discuss it, because before you just sat there on your own thinking maybe that works. But you don't know.
My opinion's the best.
None of my friends really like crypto. I can't really talk about crypto with anyone else, but you guys, and that's how we do this.
I mean, we wouldn't consider you a friend, but you can talk crypto with us.
Going back to
you're very close to my heart.
Yeah. Cute.
I've told you that I love them. They've never told me.
Going back to Sui, so did they say that there wasn't going to be an airdrop?
But what? Sorry. So okay, yeah. So basically, they said due to legal reasons, legal reasons, right now there's no airdrop. They're not planning to do it because we did mention this, I think it was last episode, about like when you airdrop someone who's paying tax and stuff. But I don't know how they whatever. But they said legal
There's an
reasons.
awful lot of regulatory stuff around airdrops. Like
Mm.
it's complex. It's very complex, but that's fine. So for legal reasons, they're not doing an airdrop.
So basically, they are going. What they mentioned in the Twitter space is that they're going to. They've already whitelisted around 200,000 wallets that have been participating in the testnet, and they're going to be given a super discounted price to buy the Sui token at the same prices as the investors did. So you'll be getting VC prices, which is pretty much. I understand sometimes maybe this is the future. Maybe airdrops are going to be less and less viable in the future, but due to maybe regulations, or it depends, some countries might allow it. So then they will move to these countries. But right now they said they're partnering up with exchanges to offer these individuals to buy Sui tokens at the Sui price that the initial investors did. But potentially, one more thing. Some projects that are building on Sui have been allocated an airdrop amount, like significant, like SuiSwap, they've been allocated a large portion. And
that's kind of like funding, right? From Sui.
And basically, right now, if you on SuiSwap, you do quests for them, and if you reach a certain level by the launch, you will get like some of their airdrops distribution. So there will potentially be an airdrop, but from the specific projects that you'll be doing testnets for. So there's a win-lose scenario, but potentially, I don't know, I heard some other rumor or some word of a document that there could be an airdrop if they go past legal stuff. But either or, I'm happy to get the same price as VCs, because if you're getting the same price as VCs, they're going to dump at the same price you're probably going to dump at.
To be honest, buying at a massively discounted price versus getting an airdrop, there's not a huge amount of difference, really. The only difference is obviously you have to pay for it. But would there be a limit on how much you could purchase? Because obviously that's the other thing. It's like, if they whitelist you, if you've got 100 grand spare, can you buy 100 grand?
I think there's going to be probably a limit, or unless like also if you're like contributing to like different products and different tests, like it's probably good. They're going to probably base it on your on-chain activity and what quests did you participate in wave 1? Did you participate in wave 2? That might give you a higher allocation.
Yeah,
that's a question. So regarding, you said there's 200,000 wallets that have been whitelisted.
Yeah.
How do you know? Is there like a way to check that? If
that's what they've meant. That's what they've said. There's no way of checking right now. But obviously, I'm not saying we've guaranteed, but we've participated in all the testnets so far. So highly likely we have been whitelisted and maybe have an increased allocations compared to someone who's going to start testnet right now and have a go.
But it's not too late.
No, absolutely, it's not too late. It's like free money is free money. Don't complain.
Well, it's not necessarily free money when you have to pay for it.
yeah. It depends how much time you're willing to grind in Discord, talking and leveling up. It is free money at the end of the day. You spend an hour a day just talking to people, and that increases your chances of getting some money.
The only other thing
at the end of the day, nothing's for free. Like that's the one. Sorry, I'm probably gallivanting off topic, but at the end of the day, you have to work to get somewhere, and I don't.
For that dollar.
You can't just expect, okay, I'm going to do one click, this and this and this and that, and then you get angry. It's like, at the end of the day, if you're just here to make free money, and you're most likely going to lose money because you're not putting in the effort or learning about the technology in the space, and that's why. No.
Yeah, unless you're really active, by the time you've heard of it, it's too late.
Yeah, absolutely.
Like that, and that's why me and Chris are holding on to Stash, because we're hoping he can go do the research for us.
But then he does the research for us, tells us to get in, and then we just are too lazy to.
Well, we ignore him. We are here to
you ignore him until I show you, like, oh yeah, how much.
Well, we can burn our Genesis box soon, boys.
Ooh.
That's all happening soon. I don't know when that's happening, but they said soon. Because apparently we'll get 2 wearables and a beta pass out of it. So
Doodles have come under quite a lot of scrutiny, haven't they?
Because they want to be more than an NFT collection, which I totally agree. Like, at the end of the day, you have to adapt to the growing community. To still, I don't know.
Well, I imagine they're sort of a project where I think they're ambitious. They're ambitious and it's good. Their art style is unique and cool. I think they're ambitious. Like, could it end up being a bit like a Bored Ape? Even if it was a quarter of a Bored Ape, do you know what I mean? It would be fine.
We're talking in rather than in ETH terms, we're talking in fractions of
Bored
Bored
Ape,
Apes.
yeah.
If
But it's a good example.
If it could be 13.26% of a Bored Ape, I'd just be delighted. No, but do you know what I mean? Like when I look at sort of like Bored Ape is more than an NFT, like because they've done the Mutant Apes, they've done the Bored Ape Kennel Club, they've done they're
The sewer parties, yeah.
And you need to also think about, like, there's so many blue chip NFTs collection out there. Most of them are doing the exact same thing, but you need to stand out in this market and like onboard the next people that are not really Web3 savvy, because that's where the real money is, to be honest. We have a fraction of the population of the world's population in Web3, and the money is where Web2 is right now. So you onboard 2.5, happy days.
I just think Doodles could still be that project. Like I maybe it won't hit the heights of, because they're making way more Doodles, aren't they? They sort of want everyone to be able to have a Doodles PFP. It's sort of
but that's it. It's just a PFP. Like there's no intrinsic value apart from like the socks and random stuff that you buy, the wearables. Everyone gets like basically a plain doodle, but the OG doodles are the ones that get all the royalties, where they get like the actual memberships. Like, so the doodle holders are going to benefit massively, like if doodles succeed, because they're going to be raking in millions. Not predicting, but what they're doing is therefore going to be like funneling some of the money from the Web2 that gain into directly to the holders of the Web3. And once they hit that gold spot and they finally launch, all those people that are going to be complaining like, oh my god, I sold it. It's like they'll be like,
floor price on Doodles right now is 3.25 ETH.
That's pretty good. If I had the money, I would. Well,
that's the thing. Like, we're talking back in May last year, so 1 year ago, the average price was 23 ETH.
Yeah,
for a Doodle.
But I think that price will go back up.
100%.
But will it hit those heady heights? Maybe not. Because
I think it could. Like, if next bull market is going to be, there's going to be trillions more liquidity, and something like the few top blue chip projects, they're going to skyrocket to way more. Once people wake up.
See, I don't know though. But was NFTs not just the narrative at that time? Do you know what I mean? Like when they
but NFTs, yeah, absolutely, there was just that narrative, but there will be. I think that there's going to be another narrative of like the NFTs are actually doing doing something, not just I'm going to give you some tokens, farm this, give you exclusive access to this. Doodles and Yuga Labs are like some of the only projects really doing other stuff, and Ghost Boy, which is the Cool Cats co-founder. They will be launching their V3 of Blockalizer, which was very cool. And like you said, it's like a
that one is my favorite of
that is
absolutely easily.
Absolutely, like it looks not professional, but it looks like now they've got like a full, like you can go on their website, they've got a full stack dev team now, and like artists that can work on this full time, and it's like it's beautiful. It's simple yet beautiful.
Yeah, I mean the Ghost Boys, like Ghost Boys now are worth like what's the floor, like 0.04?
0.03 right now on OpenSea.
Okay, but like is there many at 0.03?
Just a few, but I haven't checked Blur. Probably there'll be more on the 3 range on Blur because people
it's cheaper.
So,
yeah, and that's absolutely fair. But like I think for us, like we haven't lost out. But for us, it is what it is. And
so with sorry to cut you off. So with the you saying that obviously there's going to be trillions more in liquidity next bull run. So what you're saying is we should, with currently, if we each put in 30 grand, we can have a Bored Ape. So it sounds like a sort of solid decision, right?
Solid decision, right? Yeah.
Sash,
buy a nice car, buy a Bored Ape. Yeah.
Sash, how many airdrops do we need to get on before we can afford a Bored Ape each?
Oh, okay. Well, if you actually listen to me this time and actually do everything, potentially, maybe.
I've been all over Sui. Me and Chris love Sui.
We love Sui. No. We just are obsessed with 8192.
No. I've played that game. I've minted NFTs each time. I've staked tokens each time. I've tried my absolute utmost on everything on Sui.
I feel like if you get leaderboard 1 in 8192, first place in the leaderboard, you should just get airdropped to board 8.
Right. Stash, have you got anything delicious and sweet to show us? Or
I don't have anything delicious this week.
Just his face, just his beautiful
Just his
face.
face.
It's just me. I'm sorry.
just that? No, that's absolutely fine. So there are no Stash and Sweet Treats. The end of this episode of Weaving Web3. There's no where is this from?
Maybe potentially I will get a where is this from before it's edited. So where is this from, guys?
Well, slap it on the back like you did on last
Yeah, and you
week's
guys need
episode.
to be shocked.
Oh my god.
Where is this from?
I mean, the thing is, he's pointing up there. The way I'm going to edit it is probably where is
Put it
this
on
from afterwards? So it's going to make no sense.
Wherever he points, elsewhere. Just put it
Where
Yeah,
is
elsewhere.
this
exactly.
from?
Put it down in the corner.
Wherever is this from?
Anyway, thank you for joining us this week's Weaving Web3. It's been a pleasure. It's me, James.
Me, Chris.
A me stash. Yes,
Have a
sir.
wonderful day.
Bye.